G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires for today. We're not on the ranked ladder, we are once again watching, witnessing, and waiting to see what happens between these two absolute mammoths, titans if you will, of Age of Empires. Both top 5 players, both playing in EGC TV's Master Series. This is the winter one that we're in at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our players for today. In the east of the map, in the color pink, playing as the Byzantines, representing Team Elephant, cancelling his house and rebuilding it over here. It's Louis MT. And on the west side of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the Rus, it's Beastie. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. A pleasure to have your company today as we venture on dry Arabia into what might be the greatest game you've ever seen. We never know how these games are going to go. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're absolutely great. that worked out well. Anyway, if you want to know what else works out well, that like button down below, that definitely works out well if you go ahead and hit that one. Thank you folks. All right, well, let's get into it and talk a little bit about this matchup. Of course, we've got the Byzantines, the Rus. The Rus, they've been around for a long time. They've gone through a recent change where they're less impacted by the early game deer mini game that we used to see all the time, but I guess one of the key differences now is that we've started to see a bit of a rise in professional scouts, and I suspect this game will be no different. I think the big question is going to be about how Louis MT, at least in the early game, goes about denying that away from Beastie. So I suspect during the transition period, we're probably going to see a barracks thrown down from here. Maybe a Lamentinai or two will help his cause as he looks to defend, and already you can see Beastie being a bit of a nuisance here. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure what the play here is 100%, but look at this. We've got a double deer stack over on the north side of the base. Now, has Louis spotted this out? Let's have a look. Louis does actually see this. I guess he just didn't see this sheep that was up here, but he does see the double. Man, this is a crazy spawn when you look at this. Double deer into the boar. This is a tournament game, by the way. This is a very good spawn. Now, there is a world where you could think about going for a second TC here, but I don't know if you'd want to do that. And you can also get the berries. This is ludicrous. This is crazy how good this is. So for people wondering like why I'm getting myself all rustled over here with my jimmies, let me explain. One of the big things that happens in these games is that players, especially at the top level, are very good at ripping you apart from all angles. So they might be attacking you at the front and the back and the side all at the same time. And the great thing about this spawn for Louis is it really consolidates all of his resources in one direction. He doesn't have to look to the south of his base. He doesn't look to the east of his base. Doesn't look to the west of his base. The only place he focuses is the north. He can defend here while also defending here while also defending here very, very easily. So I wouldn't be surprised if Louis just has an absolutely unstoppable early game here, just simply out of the fact that it's going to be a pretty easy one to defend for him. But nonetheless, we'll check in with Beastie and see how he's doing over on that west side of the map. Now, his spawn's not terrible either. The one difference, though, is that boar is to the north of his base. The deer is a little bit more towards the front. His second pack is a bit closer to the back, and he does have the berries back here, but there's definitely a lot less consolidation in these food resources than his opponent has got. So interesting spawn, and we do see the barracks in transition exactly as we suspected. He's going to look to try and prevent these scouts from getting in too close. Of course, Beastie probably going to be doing a little bit of selling with the Golden Gate, and instead of moving Vils over to gold, he's just going to sell his way there. So maybe gather himself up a little bit of wood or a little bit of food, and then market trade that over for his professional scouts. He's got the age up coming through a little bit after the 4-minute mark. Probably somewhere around the 4:15, 4:20. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the Grand Winery about to come up right now for Louis MT. Beautiful landmark. Absolutely lovely. Second sister now going to get thrown down for Louis as well. I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we've got here. Of course, the Byzantines. They're a fun civilization. I was going to say they're a relatively new one. I mean, they've been out for more than a year now. And I've been having a bit of a chat behind the scenes with a couple of the fellas about the spectator UI. And, you know, we were talking about things like, oh, you know, it kind of sucks that you can't see what the enemy sees in the fog of war. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that kind of sucks, but you know, it's an engine issue, right? Like, that's never going to get fixed. You could give them $100 million, they're not going to be able to fix that. They need to write a new engine for that one. The technology's just not there. I don't care if the scouring's done it. Technology's not there. But you know, one of the good things, though, even though, like, the Rus, we can't see their bounty. We've got no idea what the Rus bounty is. I mean, hey, at least we can see the Byzantine olive oil. You know, like, I'm kind of surprised that we actually got that. They actually did update it and included the Byzantine olive oil for us. So that's nice of them. Have a look at this beastie now. Professional Scouts, not too long to go. He's going to take out all the deer. Hits them out, knocks them out before he can potentially come back around. He's going to be looking for an outpost on the gold as well. Almost signifying, hey, I am probably going to be going castle here. Well, not necessarily I'm going to be going castle, but I'm just going to throw this bad boy down here just in case. Because I know what you're like. I know that you're powerful. I know that you're scary. Mercenary contract coming through. It's going to be the Silk Road mercenary contract. So potentially Keshiks we're going to see here. No, I take it back. It's Javelin Throwers. Keshiks, Eastern. Never mind. All right, well, don't worry. We'll get him eventually. We'll check in with Beastie and see how he's doing. He's up to quintuple, scouts right now. He's got 3 on the back side, 2 on the top side. We can see that he's already making his way away from the enemy base. Lament and I will spot these guys out. Beastie going to be on the run here. Might have to drop them down. Almost certainly going to have to drop them down. But the good news is for him that it's just a matter of time until Beastie or... Louis gives up on it, and Beastie just comes back around. As long as he remembers where he puts it down, you can see he's got a little bit of a split going on here. One goes north, one goes south. It's a win-win situation, and Louis is going to actually split him off. I tell you what, Beastie's moving pretty quick. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. I feel like they should nerf professional scouts, not with a cost or like a time reduction. It should just be a movement speed reduction. To me, that makes the most sense, right? Because you can see these spears barely able to catch up. I mean, this guy got a little bit of a run through the stealth forest, but you know what I mean, right? Like, they still move very quickly, and it's one of those things where I'd like to see that if you're being contested, you're almost guaranteed to lose, whereas if you're not being contested, you're almost guaranteed to win. That's the way I'd like to see it. But look at this, Louis MT not even going to go professional scouts. What's he doing? Is he just... He's got the javelin thrower out. I guess because he's got the deer pack close here, it could be a case of like almost the English in a way. You know how the English don't really prioritize deer? They're more interested in their own farms. It could be the same case here where Louis is like, well, I'm not going to go after my deer right now because I need my olive oil. And that as a result leaves the window open for Beastie to climb through and say, hey, I'll take some of that pie if you're just going to leave it out for me. Lament and I, though, doing its damage on the front here. Louis, at the moment, with only 3 Lament and I on the field, 2 up to the north, just the 1 out here. Just being a bit annoying for the moment. Beastie going to be looking for that castle age as well. Should be able to find it. He's got that last ticket about to come through. And there we go. He's now able to drop down. It's going to be the Abbey of the Trinity. I tell you what, the meta has taken a shift back to where it used to be in what, 2022, 2023? Somewhere around that region. Abbey of the Trinity from Golden Gate. What year is this? Can somebody remind me? Keep in mind, this is a tournament game. We are seeing the pinnacle of the meta right here. Double Broadaxe going to come through for Beastie now. I would suspect off this, he probably goes Horse Archers. This is like the most common opening we saw out of this. And it just makes the most sense, right? Professional Scouts, it's going to be securing up your food income. You've also got 1, 2, 3 archery rangers coming down now, but you've also got the double or the wooden fortress giving you that wood. Then you got the double upgrade in the sense that you've also got the double broadaxe that's coming through now. So really the only piece of the puzzle that's missing right here is the wheelbarrow, which will help out the wood gatherers quite a bit. And then after that, it's just going to be your upgrades from your blacksmith. And that's going to be a nice little opening here for Beastie. But keep in mind, on the side of Louis MT, javelin throwers are going to be a perfect read for him. So this is quite nice. Now, we do see him moving out for his secondary berries already. So Louis looking to get down and dirty. Keep in mind, where are we? We're looking for that secondary milk. Hold on. It is here. Yep, there's Professional Scout. Sorry, my bad. Golden Horn Tower now going to be coming down for Louis. So both players really playing. And you want to know what's interesting now that I think about it? I remember back when I played Age of Empires 3, I was very, very competitive in Age of Empires 3. And I remember I posted a video about what is the best strategy in Age of Empires 3. And the best strategy, because it's a bit like Rock, Paper, Scissors, similar to Age of Empires 4. The best strategy was semi-FF, or semi-fast fortress, which was always, you get a couple units out, you establish yourself on the map, and then you go into the castle age, or into the fortress age. And I'm kind of noticing a trend here, where we're starting to see this more and more at the top level, where players don't look to commit to a super hard feudal, don't look to commit to a direct castle, but instead always opt to get just a few units out on the field, You can see how much those javelins are going to be destroying the horse archers here. Yeah, but I think Beastie very quickly going to be reassessing his decision here. Don't be surprised if you see like a triple stable thrown down immediately to combat this. I don't know. It feels very, very painful playing horse archer with a javelin thrower. I can say that much. But yeah, it's one of those interesting things where we do really see quite a bit of mirroring in the meta for Age of Empires 4 as what we saw with Age of Empires 3. It's about getting out on the map, establishing yourself, making sure you're not going to be losing these valuable resources to just a raid or two here or there. Meanwhile, in the back of the base, it's going to be barracks that's thrown down, so he's going to opt for men-at-arms instead to look to try and counter these javelin throwers. And speaking of javelin throwers, have a look at this. The veterans, he's already come through. He's able to pick off the first relic, takes out a scout as well. And boy, oh boy, have we got ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen. The numbers are starting to look a little bit better here for him. Get back in the base, Mr. Monk. Now, speaking of getting back in the base, give me a second here. I'm going to take a quick swig of my drink. I finished my Red Bull from earlier, and now I'm actually onto the water, the good stuff. And I can tell you right now, you can. I don't know if you can hear the ice. I'm trying to jingle it around in there for you, so you can hear it. I think they might have all melted. This is going to be an S tier water. I can already tell you. I don't even have to try it. I know it's going to be good. Give me a sec. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so good. Oh, man. Why do I even drink anything else? Like, you don't need to drink anything else, man. Water is so good. Sorry. Okay. I can already see the meme threads on Reddit being posted. Drongo 6 minutes into a video. Water is crazy OP, guys. Sorry. But it is. Like, it's actually overpowered when you think about it, right? Anyway, let's check in with Louis, see how he's doing. Is this what I think it is? Outpost coming down on the stone. A little bit of an indication on what the plan might be here. Could be a second TC for the Louis MT. So far, the numbers continue to build, though. Varangian Guard going to be coming out here. We've seen these excel in the past. Will it be today that the Byzantine Emperor rises once again, despite not being in that wonderful purple color that we're used to seeing them in? Now, one thing to note, have a look at all these relics to the north of the map here. These are not being secured up whatsoever by Louis. He's kind of just keeping this one guarded at the moment, but there are relics that are really, really close here that would be easy for him to contest. Not going to be the case, though. Not able to find it. Field number 1 goes down for the game. And now those men-at-arms going to be, rather those Varangian Guards, going to be looking to chase away the horse archers from his opponent. +1 ranged armor, rather ranged attack now going to be coming through for Beastie as well. Caught between a rock and a hard place. The rock going to be the Varangian Guard, and the hard place going to be that wolf that gets taken out. Meanwhile, back towards mid. Have a look at this. Crossbow numbers starting to rise. Going to get taken out. Beautiful micro from Louis. Just ignores all of those men-at-arms on the front. He's going to try and snipe down that Warrior Monk. Warrior Monk going to look for it. Not going to be able to find it. Maybe moves it a couple inches. We'll have to pull out. What's that thing that they use in the NFL? You know, like the stake in the ground, and it's got the 10 meters on it. Sorry, 10 yards on it. Sorry, I'm an NFL fan. I like sports. 10 meters. God, that'll get a flame or two. All right, well, looks like the javelin throwers are having a bit of a difficult time with the men-at-arms. Good choice, good tech choice right here by Beastie. And what's particularly smart about this is that when you get down and dirty with the enemy, with men-at-arms, you don't care about it, right? Like, Beastie's over here right now. He's doing the farms. Meanwhile, Louis MT's, like, got the single javelin running around, 3 guys on the back line firing off. You get the picture, right? Beastie's very chill. Whereas Louis MT, he is focusing 100% of his energy over here to make sure these men-at-arms actually aren't hitting his units. So I think it's a nice little win for him. If you went horsemen there, like, sure, okay, your horsemen do more damage against the javelin throwers, but the Lamenani then do more damage against you. Limitane? I'm never going to pronounce it Limitane. Don't comment that. It's not going to happen. Limetani. I know it's pronounced Limitane. Imagine if I was actually pronouncing that incorrectly as well. Like, it's actually Lobatine. It's French, Drongo. Le Matinee. Okay, mate. Sorry. Okay, Marine Lord. Sorry, mate. Camels now. Have a look at this. The next level of counter. You thought the level 1 javelin thrower was the counter? Wrong. It's also the camel archer. I tell you what, the horse archer is literally in its worst matchup ever. How terrible is this as a horse archer enthusiast? This mercenary house has literally got everything to counter you. At least in the first 2 ages. 3rd age, not so much. Or rather, 4th age, not so much. The grenadier, not typically known as the natural counter to the horse archer. But I tell you what, the camels are doing a wonderful job. Keep in mind, for the camel riders, these guys are beefy. They are very, very beefy. They've got a lot of health on them. So it's not something that you're going to be easily able to kite. Continuing the chase. He's looking for another Vil. He's already taken out 5 this game. Make it 6, 7. He gets another one. He's taken out plenty, doing quite a bit of work here. Louis MT. Let's check in with him, how he's doing on this south side. He's got enough stone in the bank if he wants to drop that second TC. Now is the time, Louis. 15 minutes. It's about right for you. You've established yourself. You've picked up 2 of the relics, denied away at least 2 from the enemy. Good food economy up here. You're not going to need to transition over to olive groves just yet. Obviously, we've still got this one to go, or this one that's growing. But there's still plenty of resources up there to be had. I think it's definitely the right time. We'll have to see what the play is for him. Siston now going to get thrown down on this top side as well. How many is he up to? That's going to be the 4th one connected. I don't know exactly what happened here. We got a disconnect somewhere. Does that disconnect? Did you guys see that? These were all level 3. And then this came in and disconnect. That's wild. Oh, because the villager runs to connect that. Oh, that's wild as hell, man. Yo, devs, I just found a bug. I just found a bug. A year after Byzantines are released, Drongo's here finding the bugs. You guys saw that, right? Go back and watch it again. The Sistons were level 3. And then the villager, I think because he tasked the Vil to build the aqueduct, well, obviously, good deduction right there, but the Vil runs to build this part first. And so it builds it and kind of like builds over the top of it. So it resets it. All right, well, numbers looking good for Louis MT. He's got double the military pop of Beastie. Beastie, what's the play, yo? What's going on here? Spring emplacement's going to come through somewhere. Over here? Where is that spring emplacement? It's got to be... Here? Here. Here. All right, we found it. We found it. In the end, we found it. Spring emplacement. He'll try his best to hold against this position. Could be difficult, though. There's a lot of ranged units, and I think with the javelin throwers especially, this is something that you can just look to dive town centers because of their high ranged armor. You don't really care about town centers. And especially with the number advantage that he's got at the moment, this is significant. He's not in one-shot territory for the men-at-arms just yet, but probably about 2 Vils. He's going to hand in and then jump in, loses a Vil for it. Probably the right call in the end, actually, because he's probably going to lose out all of these. I don't know where that second one went. Looked like it may have gone down there as well. He's in a bit of a tough spot. Where's he going from here? Where's the food? The transition of farmers has happened, but Beastie's just exhausted all the food so quickly. Meanwhile, back home, Louis MT, farm transition is well and truly through, moving over to his 3rd berries. He's having a hell of a time. Meanwhile, down to the south, Camel down here, just doing a little patrol on the berries. Look at the timing of this. Look at the timing of this. Louis MT, he's been out here for 30 seconds, no more than it. And now able to find that one out. I don't know where the Vils went. Looks like they may have been taken out. Bit of a squeeze. But now towards the south side, we've got more Vils being taken out. Unfortunately, the Camel is going to be the one that loses his life today. The Vils outnumber him well and truly. Wooden Fortress into a double hunting cabin is going to secure that, but immediately we see Louis heading down in that direction. Beastie's got to be careful. Does Beastie know about this? He does. He sees the enemy units. He makes his... Oof. Playing with fire, my friend. You're playing with fire. That's a big army, and Louis MT ain't the kind of guy to forget. Let's see. Louis doesn't have a whole lot of information, so, and he did see that Vils were running, so he might actually just give up on this position. And we can see, even right now, he's heading towards this big stone down here where Beastie previously was. So he could look to play it safe and double back and check everything. See what the play is. He's just going to send a... Look at this. Look how on the ball he is. Just a couple units down here, just to double check and make sure those Vils didn't escape out the back. A little bit of a stable action for you. Vils might go down here. Beastie asleep at the keyboard. All of a sudden, and down towards that south side, he will spot out more Vils. He's going to find them. He attack routed them in between here. A little bit of a patrol route. Meanwhile, more men-at-arms on the north. Beastie reacting with way too many men-at-arms and crossbows. And now, once again, running the Vils. We are witnessing the running of the Vils right here. You thought the... I'm not going to say that one. That's a Borat reference. Gosh, wasn't that a funny movie? Oh gosh, you couldn't do that in 2025, man. You could get away with it back then. What was it? 2009, I think Borat came out. Must have been around then, maybe a little bit before then, maybe 2008. It was right before I went on deployment. I remember it. It was just I remember my mum telling me she loved what was his name? Azamat Bagatov. I think that was his name. It was like the director or the editor. All I remember is that Borat would speak in Hebrew and he would speak in Armenian, and it was so funny. Oh gosh, they were silly. They were a silly bunch. He was ahead of his time, Borat. Anyway, let's check in with Beastie and see how he's doing. Oh my lord, where did that even come from? Oh, that's right, the running of the vills. Yes, it's the much more politically appropriate event. All right, well. At this stage of the game, Louis definitely holds a substantial lead over his opponent, but Beastie has begun moving into siege. We did see the siege workshop on the back side of the base getting put down. He's going to be moving into mangoes to try and deal with this. Definitely the right call when it comes to forces that are mangonelable. I tell you what, this is such a fun combination. Look at what Louis MT's doing, okay? He's making javelin thrower and crossbow. The reason why this is so much fun is because you can't actually do this with the Malians. They don't have a crossbow unit. They've got those stupid little Musofadi that don't have guns. Or, these units don't have guns either. They've got crossbows, hence the name crossbow. You get the idea though, right? It's that double counter. We've got ranged units that are going to cover us. So basically you can't play it's actually such a smart move. You can't, like, okay. I'm making a whole bunch of crossbows. I'm having a good time. What's the unit that you're going to make to respond to me? Horsemen? Nope, you can't do that. I made 5 spears. Now you can't do that. What are you going to make? Oh, archers, right, because archers counter both my spears and my crossbows. And now all of a sudden you can't make archers because I've got javelin throwers. So now you have to make horsemen. And it's a lot easier for me to counter you. This is actually like an insanely strong wombo combo here. In the current meta especially. Louis MT may have found gold. This could be it. But keep in mind, Beastie behind the scenes is building. 13 horsemen at the moment. Still not enough. Double mango. That's what I'm talking about. Drives them out just one at a time. I'd ideally like to have both of these mangoes at the party if we could have them. Beastie now going to start walling up as well. Towards that top side, looking to keep out the Byzantine player. Check back in with Louis, and look at Louis. Louis going for his classic walls here. I love Louis' walls. I'll be honest, I don't like them. I'm not a fan. I like these. You know what? I love Louis' walls. He's gone for this onion style, but it's just a very, you know, he's taken a little bit off the onion off the side. He's done a Tony Abbott. Just inspected it a little bit and said, might take a bite out of that, and he's bitten out the whole front wall. It's not meant to do that. Front shouldn't fall off it. Mango in placement. Now going to be coming through for Louis as well. Where's he dropping that down? Down here on the sacred site. Yeah, that's where he's looking for it. He's also got one in the middle. Mango in placement. So might potentially look for that sacred site victory. He's definitely in a position to pull it off. Honestly, this is fine. The mango in placement, as long as there's units nearby, will easily be able to hold out against troops. Now keep in mind, for that mango in placement though, it doesn't get bonus damage. So it only gets that bonus damage against ships. Not going to be against your enemy units, like ranged units and whatnot, the same way that you would see for the mangoes themselves. They get bonus damage versus ranged units. I don't think they would get adjustable crossbars as well, just mainly because I don't see too many crossbars, especially not any that might be adjustable. That is for sure. All right, well, bit of a build-up that's happened here, a little bit of a lull in the action, but Louis MT is coming and knocking. The question's going to be about whether Beastie answers with the shotgun or not, and it looks like he will. Unfortunately, Louis MT's on his toes, dodges the first round, heads back out, and Beastie reveals his hand. A little bit unfortunate, but I suspect Louis probably suspected something was up. I'm going to take another swig of the water. Give me a second here. It's so good. It's so good. All right, I'll stop. Man, that's good water. I said I would stop, but I just can't. I can't stop myself. All right, let's talk a little bit about these economies and where they're at, because Louis MT has thrown down the second TC. Now, he's lost quite a lot of vills this game. Now, this is a recent addition that he's added in. You can tell by the pixels. 9 minutes on that sacred timer. And the Imperial Age comes through now for him. He's going to be going into the Foreign Engineering Company. Check in with Beastie and see what the plan is for him. We'll actually switch it over to income per minute before these numbers get counted. So you're looking at 2.5, about 3.5k here for Louis MT. On the side of Beastie, similar number, in fact a little bit higher, currently sitting about 3.7k for Beastie. So Beastie with that eco advantage, as you would expect, he's got a very slight vil lead here. The eco upgrades are similar, only difference going to be that we have got the tier 2 mining upgrade. All right, Greased Axle's on the way for Beastie. A lot of Mangonels here. Now, as a Byzantine player, how do you go about countering this? The most common way that we've seen people deal with Mangos so far has been to kind of tear apart the army from multiple angles. We've seen people like Vortex just completely surround, even with ranged units, these Mangonels, and still done absolutely fine with it. And I think in this position, the moment Beastie spots this Imperial Age, he's going to look to try and save up himself. We can see he's still got a couple units in the bank, but I'd be very hesitant about pushing out right now, knowing that your enemy's just hit Imperial, especially when you've got these upgrades that come in so quickly, right? 60 seconds, and your upgrades are online. But Beastie's going to look to push the issue now across the map. All right, well, to the south, the elite upgrade's about to come in. That's going to upgrade a lot of units. All your javelin throwers, all your camels, about to be upgraded to elite status here. Louis MT trying to find an angle from the south side. No units to the north. He can focus completely, Beastie can, on these enemy units to the south. Mango placement still firing off. He's trying to find a way through as the sacred site is neutralized. Exactly what he wanted to do. Behind this is going to be looking to go Imp. Expecting to see the siege landmark for him. It's not going to be the Spasskaya. Surely not the Spasskaya. I don't know why you would go the Spasskaya. And where do you put it? You put it right here. Can you fit it in? Maybe you can't fit it in. In which case, he's looking for it. He wants to. He deletes it. Might have to delete a farm. There we go. High armory. Thrown down in the back of the base. Beautiful little spot that he's got here. This is just nestled perfectly. I'm trying to think of... Nah, never mind. I'll avoid it. Beastie on the defense. We're right on board as he spots out the enemy units in the back of the base. Wants to get in before adjustable crossbars. Tries for the quick wall. Going to be able to find it a little bit too late behind the camels. And now we see Louis MT vanishing out. Keep in mind, all these elite upgrades did come through. Yet to see the upgrade for the crossbow. The Varangian guards just yet as well. But I don't think we got too many Varangian guards. How many we got? We got 2 Varangian guards. They've got their elite upgrades. I do take it back. They must have snuck in overnight. All right, high armory online. Arguably the best siege landmark in the game. Just primarily because it allows your siege to be so cheap. There are other ways to reduce the cost of your siege, and look at this, immediately. Adjustable crossbars clicked. So as an example, we've seen like Jeanne d'Arc. As an example, we've seen her with very, very cheap siege. Because she can empower the siege workshops. So that's definitely one of the routes. But we do see the Royal Cannon now going to be coming out. Oh, the counter to the Mango. Very, very smart. Very intentional here. Keep in mind, this is not a regular cannon. This is a Royal Cannon. This is a unique French cannon that the Byzantines are able to adopt, bring over. They've got extra damage. So on top of the chemistry that he doesn't have yet, that he'll be having soon, you can see he's actually able to two-shot these out. So with the second Royal Cannon coming through, he's going to be able to clean two-shot these. Getting a little bit excited here, Chief. I don't know about this one. He does get the shot off, though. A little bit of an undercommitment. I don't know why Beastie didn't try and kill the Royal. Now able to focus down that back line. You can see how much damage these Royal Cannon are doing. I don't know, what's the play? What are all of these javelin throwers doing there? A little bit too far away. Need to be sniping out these men-at-arms. He needs to be running the Royal Cannons into the army. I guess at the same time, he's a little bit fearful about the damage that may be done by these Mangos. And you can see Beastie now having a tough time against the Royal Cannons. 10 tiles of range. The Mango's about to go from 8 to 9 tiles of range with the adjustable crossbars. And now the adjustable crossbars are through. Any second. Any second. There we go. All right, we're good. So now Beastie's going to look to fight. Now, he did just lose 2 Mangoes. Or rather 3 Mangoes. So he's lost quite a bit of oomph here. Spend a couple tickets, maybe. He drops a couple tickets. Men-at-arms going to look to try and charge down the Royal Cannon. The single Royal Cannon of Louis MT. Mangoes now. Splits coming in. Varangian Guard charging on that back line. Decent hits there. But the crossbow's able to pick him up. No elite upgrades just yet coming through. Also looking to get the siege crew training for that instant teardown. First shot in on the Mango. Second shot in on the Mango. It's the pure counter right now to the Mangoes. That is the difference. Look how strong these units are. They are perfect to counter these Mangonels. They're able to kite back absolutely perfectly. He's got just enough reach to hit them. And this is the difference that height makes when it comes to these boxing matches. And now turns around, focuses out that Mango once again. Oh, it's a Mangonel counter. He's absolutely found it, the Byzantine dream. Good night, sweet prince, he says. Beastie in a bit of a tough spot. All 6 of the Mangonels going down to Royal Cannons. Do you guys remember that game where I was like, hold on a minute. The French actually have an insane counter to Mangonels. It's the Royal Cannon because they have extra damage and they have instant pickup and tear down. So you can kite them. And we're literally seeing it right now, the development of the ultimate mango counter strategy. Good night, Mangonels. You are no more. And you can see that Beastie is still attempting to rely on the mangoes, failing to realize that every single time he invests in a mango, the only thing that's going to happen is he's going to take it to the market and it's going to get sold off to the top bidder. He's going to say, well, that's not really how it works at a mango market. It's more of like, hey, I've got a whole tray of mangoes here. Would you like to buy them? And you're like, yeah, that's a bargain. Of course I'll buy you 12 mangoes for $6. I don't know. How do they afford it? How do they get away with it? They shouldn't be. You can't be making profit on that. There's too many mangoes. You just printing them out of thin air? They're coming off some magical plant or something? Get out of here. Crazy kids. Money tree. I'm getting flashbacks to Homer Simpson talking about pigs. I don't know if you guys remember the reference. He's talking about some magical animal that ham and bacon and pork all come from. Oh gosh. All right, well, sacred sites are being held now. 6 minutes to go. Louis MT holding it down. Bit of a transition starting to happen here. We see the first hand cannoneer coming out for Louis. He's only at 165 pop though, interestingly. He's going to look to push the agenda. He's taking the Vil lead here. Slight advantage compared to Beastie. And now Beastie on this south side. Mango's firing off. Get a couple of little shots in. Streltsy numbers going to start to rise here. Inside the base, the Varangian Guard are going to start getting to work. We're checking in now with exactly how Louis MT does it. Trying his best not to lose that Royal Cannon and manages to keep it alive. I tell you what, this is absolutely the strongest counter that you can field right now against the mango. It's literally the perfect counter. Number one, the mango's never going to get a shot off him, right? It's just because you've got that instant tear down, tear up, pack up, tear down. You know what I mean, right? Like, you can just instantly go. Excellent against building, stubborn target, most powerful siege cannon. It's correct, most powerful siege cannon. They got it right. Good work, devs. Second one's arrived once again. Mango's going to try and defend here. Mango emplacements, rather. Let's see how quickly they fire. Now Royal Cannon's moving forward once again. He's got 2 out. The power of the Byzantines is slowly being realized in this Imperial Age game. It feels like it's getting more and more in favor of Louis MT. It definitely feels like he's got the tempo, despite not having the population advantage. It's one of those cases where it's like the bigger guy has got the shorter arms. And Beastie, I'm sure your arms are perfectly in proportion to your height and your body. Yeah, just at the moment, for the analogy that we're going with, which is boxing. You know, some games we go with a chess analogy. Today we're going with a boxing analogy. He just doesn't have the reach. You can just see he doesn't have it. Royal Cannon's firing off once again on that front line. He's going to try his luck once again. Man-at-arm numbers have risen. He's up to 29. Horsemen also joining the field. Streltsy together with the crossbows. The whole swag has been brought forward. Javelin still teeing off on that backside. Horseman to the south, going to pick up a couple Vils here. He looks like he's managed to about 5. Lemanai on the way down as well. More on the sacred site in the center, and he's holding for the moment. Keeps doing a decent job. Beastie knows he's under pressure. He doesn't know which way to go, though. He could just take the entire army and then move south. He'd be able to clear the sacred site. But if he does that, the enemy starts rolling over his base. And that's the biggest problem that he's got. So he needs to make a decision here. Where do you go? And I think irrespective of where you go, you're still going to get your base rolled over. These Royal Cannons have been relentless. Louis MT, just notorious for his control of units, is just exemplary. Exemplary today. There you go. 3 minutes until sacred defeat. With 3 minutes to go, I'm going to take a quick swig. Oh, but they're about to start fighting. Don't do it yet. Drongo, okay, we're going to stick with it. Lemanai on the bounce. Mango's able to find a little bit of damage, not a huge amount. He's trying to get a second shot off. You can see he's going to hit that front line, but still the kiting coming in from Louis. Pulls Vils to repair up the Royal Cannons. Says, nah, it ain't happening. Beautiful micro. Just absolutely beautiful micro. Stellar micro coming out from Louis. Trying to find the pick here on this Mango. Varangian Guards from the top side. I didn't witness exactly where or why they came in, but they did manage to find a way through. It looks like they did pick up something of high value as well. Royal Cannons. Got to be careful. They've overstepped the mark a little bit here. But he's got that extra speed. It's not really extra speed. It's just like extra acceleration. He reaches peak acceleration a lot sooner than the enemy bombards would. And now, firing down the keep. Beastie's got no chance of holding it. Down to the south. Sacred site. Still held. And where does he go from here? He doesn't know which way to go. He doesn't know where to turn. He knows that if he goes south, he loses the army. He needs to face front on. But Louis just rallying in. And now 2 minutes until sacred defeat. Beastie. He's got to go right now. He is fighting for his tournament life here. Mangoes fire. Royal Cannons fire back. Couple shots land for the Mangoes, but the Royal Cannons fire so quick the Mangoes can't even get their second shot off. Royal Cannons just shutting it down. Pool is closed today, ladies and gentlemen. Mangoes are not permitted. And now, more and more Ville's going to be pulled to the battle. Beastie knows how important this is. 90 seconds to go. It's about taking out the siege at the back, and the fourth Royal Cannon begins to roll in. Ville's going to try and get it off. Cannon firing. Mango emplacements as well. Look at the damage. Look at the damage. Look at the speed. Look at the flexibility, the versatility. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The absolute hero of the day will be revealed upon your screen the moment this match complete thing gets out of the way. Ladies and gentlemen, go check him out. EGC TV this weekend. 15 GMT, Saturday and Sunday. It's the Winner Masters. It's happening. Be there or be square.